the week 6 discussion for technology and media. And in this week's discussion post, we were to create and post a video in which we share about the draft we created in this week's assignment 3, choosing and cleaning your window on the world. We're to reflect on the process of the investigation so far, what I'm discovering, and some ideas and reasoning you have for the strategies and commitments that I might adopt. So what I'm just gonna do for my video is just read the little draft of information that I have about what I've learned about myself from last week's assignment 2, because that is the essential of what assignment 3 is about, what we learned about ourselves from last week's assignment. So I'm just going to read off my draft of what I have so far, and then I'll call that good. So here we go. What I learned about myself through last week's assignment was that I know very little. I know very little when it comes to why or how my path or my destiny came to be. I know very little about what this life is meant to be, or what lies beyond this life. I know very little about the human mind, the human heart, the human will. I know very little about the true gravity of every little action we make all throughout our lives, and how that impacts our existence beyond this short life. What I learned is that because of suffering, because of the tribulation, because I am small, because I am weak, because I know so little, because I am human, my only hope of finding true happiness and health 100% depends on the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, who is the only man in human history who promises the very thing the human soul desires most to those who follow him and keep his commandments, and proves it countless times. That very thing is the beatific vision, perfect and complete union with God. In addition to this, all sin and effects of sin will be completely eradicated on the last day. On the last day of the resurrection, on the day of the resurrection, all will receive new physical bodies, free and void of the stain of sin. In my case, it would be my severe physical deformations from birth that has caused me a lot of suffering all my life. At its root cause, those diseases and deformities are a result of sin, original sin, the fall of Adam and Eve. Christ promises that on the last day, on the day of the resurrection, our new physical bodies will be free from sin, free from deformations, and will hold no imperfection. This promise I've clung to for a good portion of my life, especially in recent years, as my respiratory failure has grown increasingly worse. What I learned from last week's assignment is that I long for health and freedom from suffering with every fiber of my being. And right now, 1 second pause. Okay, resume. Right now, I'm absolutely miserable and don't know how much more I can bear. But I'm just trying to bear it well, because Christ promises that those who pick up their cross and carry it and not run from it will triumph and be greatly rewarded after this short life on earth. What I've learned in last week's assignment is that it is that teaching I cling to with all I have left in me. That is my only hope, that teaching, that man, Christ Jesus. And that's my draft so far. Of course, I'll expand more on certain topics within that short passage that I wrote, and then obviously connect different paragraphs to that. But yeah, that's what I have so far, and this is my response.